Normally a peaceful
And the black and silver motorized racing team back with 13th overall after day one. And a consistent if unspectacular drive saw them move up to just outside the top 10 and take the lead in Class B. Evan was driving that Nissan 2-litre with great care, a true conservation act. Zane Pess was the man in Hutchison's rearview mirror, but not for long. The Toyota driver is the Class E championship leader, but soon after had to call it a day with mechanical problems. John Thompson and Clinton McNamara were chasing after B-Class leader Hutchison in their Zarko, and the 4x4 Swazi Club team was in 14th place overall. But they were caught by the Harpers with great rapidity. In fact, the father and son combination clocked the 5th fastest time of the day on the stage, which lifted them right up into the top 10. A fine drive for the Audi-powered Bat. The distinctive yellow space frame of Gil Null and co-Peter Newbury. They were wringing out every single ounce of horsepower out of their Subaru. Even though it was sounding like it needed a bit of oil. The Bozer Landy flying along like that belongs to the Moffats, Mark and Stewart, who were very solid in what ended up being a clean run for them over the 300-odd Ks. Dirk van Reenen Sr. and Jr. was the second E-Class car in their Ford 2.5, and this fine run on this leg hauled in 2 positions for them on the overall classification. At the refuel point at the Roos Senekal School, young Gavin Cronje and co-driver Robin Houghton were still taking the caution-first approach in their Toyota.
Yeah, it was going pretty well. We wrong slotted, lost quite a lot of time there, but we're back where we want to be, and just got to chase down the rest of the guys in front of us, and still a long day ahead of us and a long day tomorrow. So it should just preserve the car and keep it in one piece is the main aim, and get to the end.
Another Toyota was making the race sponsors and Toyota team manager Wami Haddad a happy man. Paulo Piazzamusa and Oki Furi blasted their way from 7th to 4th after clocking the 3rd fastest time for the first 180 Ks. Go! Meanwhile, Krobler had gone completely ape and passed everyone, including race leader Cox. And even though he was driving like a lunatic, the champion wasn't catching up enough to make a large dent on Cox's lead. Krobler has won twice this season, at the 2nd round in Darling in the Western Cape and in the 6th race of the season in Limpopo. Cox was Mr. Caution himself, what with there only being 16 points between himself and teammate Krobler in the championship race. Alfie carded 3 consecutive victories, the Toyota 1000 Desert Race, round 4 the Sun City 400 and 5 the Lesotho Sun 400. But Krobler has been more consistent, while Cox had 2 did not finish notes behind his name at the beginning of the season.
How's the fork right here? 400, sweep right.
Manfred Schroeder was also letting it all hang out. He was still talking about how much he was enjoying the route, and he was having a tremendous dance with Visser and Cronje. Everyone concerned with the race were also hoping that the FIA officials would be enjoying themselves. The World Motorsports controlling body administrators were there to observe on whether South Africa would be capable of hosting a round of the 2006 Cross Country World Championship Series. Off-road champion Richard Leek was showing them around. Chris Visser and Japie Paardenhof in their Toyota 2.7 clocked 3 hours and 46 minutes for the 300 plus Ks, and that dropped them down a few spots from their overnight position of 4th. The same scenario repeated itself with Cronje and Houghton. They were 3rd overall after day 1 shenanigans. A solid 2nd leg saw them drop down 2 positions. The The father and son combination, Robert and Gareth Walk and their Chenoweth, were 18th overall and making inroads on the Class B, D and E vehicles in front of them. That was despite suffering a tyre blowout while travelling at 200 k's an hour, or what they called a little moment afterwards. After going as hard as he could, the defending champion shot up from 43rd to 26th, clocking the fastest time for the stage, 2 hours and 29 minutes. At the finish, Grobler's navigator Francois Jordan, himself a champion from 2001, gave us the rundown on the ride.
Going very well. We made up some time on Elfie. I think they had a bit of a problem with the route. It was very difficult finding the route, and we passed them. And then from then on, it was plain sailing. The route's very, very difficult to find at places, but it's fast and it's rocky at places. It's something of everything, and we're really enjoying it. Our car's holding out well. Our tyres are let going, but we're enjoying it so far.
The hosts impress. After not having a vehicle in the top 10, the biggest selling motor manufacturer in South Africa now had 3 Toyotas in the top 10. They were smiling broadly. As for the Clint Gibson-Marcel Trethewey combination, they had everyone sitting up and taking notice. They clocked the 5th fastest time for the stage.
Everything's going very well. We're having a nice run today. Not pushing too hard. We're just keeping up a nice steady pace. We've still got 250 k's to do today. The route's very fast in Status. The fastest we've clocked is 190 kilometers. There are some rough rocks, rough terrain. Yeah, just looking forward to the last 250 k's to get back to home for tonight.
And that last stage, over 244 k's, would shoot out to Palmer, Moshadadorp, Kruisfontein and back to Leidenburg, making 560 long k's for the day. After another quick start, Grobler was focused on one thing and one thing alone, getting to the Leidenburg Rugby Club and getting there quickly. But first, give the train the respect it deserves. Cox, meanwhile, was looking to grab the 25 points on offer for a win. This was the 7th and penultimate leg of the ABSA Off-Road National Championship Series, so his attitude was, let them come at me, I'm just going to keep it consistent. And that's what the former motorbike star was doing, absolutely perfectly. The blue Ford of Manfred Schroeder and co-driver Alec Harris has been faultless, and so has their driving been. Schroeder was at pains to point out to us that his vehicle could not quite maintain the speeds of the A-Class lads, but he gave his D-Class leadership status up to a flying Paolo Piazzamuso and his nav Oki Furi in their Castrol Toyota 2.7. They had scorched over the Leidenburg hills and dales to record a 3-hour, 26-minute journey for the 244 Ks. But undoubtedly the ride of the day came from the Harpers. They shot up to 3rd in class and 6th overall with the 4th fastest ride of the day on leg 3. The bad luck story of day 2, though, again for them, unfortunately, was the top car lads. Skuman and Syme had big drama, and after a lot of scurrying around to get the Nissan roadworthy again, they dropped from 11th to 24th in one fell swoop. The lads who jokingly called themselves Naim and Nazim, the tyre rack crew, caught everyone off guard by winning Class S in the last race in Limpopo when they cracked the Ford Motorrad 400 title. Naim Mosaji and Moki Nazim were obviously having a rip-roaring time. The funny of the day went to Bevan Bartelt and navigator Nick Salomolela in their I-Burst bath. They burst or bust 2 tyres, then borrowed one from Hutchison and Horn on the proviso that they stay behind the motorized pair. Well, you guessed it, they punctured and wanted their spare back. Luckily, the I-Burst boys found another spare and made it back to base in 16th place. Back in Leidenburg, it was Grobler who brought the procession home in a time of 3 hours and 13 minutes. But they had their troubles. They broke an anti-roll bar, which in turn snapped a brake pipe. They stopped for repairs, but had the cruise end. Cox, though, was as good as his word. He stuck to his guns, half-loaded as they were, because all he had to do to win this one is to keep it on the road.
Yeah, look, like I said this morning, 900 kilometers was this morning's call. And, you know, we finished 550 today with another 400 tomorrow. So, you know, in South African racing, that's another whole race. So The car's been absolutely unbelievable, touch wood. So I'm hoping that tomorrow, and at the moment I'm just, playing it by ear. I know Hannes was attacking a little bit. He lost a bit of time today, and I came back on him, but I think he's won the day, but overall I'm still leading. And for me, the points for the championship, I'd love to go into Carnival City leading the championship with not as much pressure as Hannes is going to have.
The Gibson to 3 combination was super staunch on leg 3, and they notched up a superb runners-up spot on the accumulated results. In their back 5-point Chevy, they were going well. Their strategy definitely paid off and leaves them leading Class A by 3 minutes.
Yeah, we had a good day today. We had a strategy to take it slow, which we did do. The last 50 Ks we started putting the hammer down, so we could obviously try and catch up to Gary, and I think we've hopefully done enough to put us on pole tomorrow in the special.
We've had a terrible year. It was very interesting today with a new format, with the road books. It was very busy for the navigators today. There were decontrols, liaison stages. But it's been fantastically organised. We're enjoying it. And just tomorrow, yeah, my driver's been brilliant. And tomorrow we'll just try and keep it tidy and get to the end.
We pulled in the desert race also first in the overnight stop. I think tomorrow's still a long day ahead. I don't think anybody can count their chickens yet. I think it's going to be a tough day tomorrow. The racing is certainly close. The guys are really neck and neck. There's probably a minute and a half between myself and the next chap. And it's good, tough racing out there. Fantastic route, nice event, well organised. Compliments to the organisers.
Indeed, a tired-looking Manfred Schroeder dropped back 4 positions to 2nd in his class. And in the forward for the 2nd day in a row, here navigator Alec Harris had a ball.
We're going to go in the front. That was great fun today. I mean, we had, in the fast sections, we went flat out as fast as we could. I love the faster the race, the better for me. And then we're expecting the space rams to catch us in the rough section, and they still haven't sort of caught us. Yeah, no, we're having a great time out there. I mean, we did 558 Ks today, and the bucky is absolutely nothing wrong with it again. Just gone through it, rotated the tyres, and you're ready for tomorrow again.
After almost 700 Ks of racing, and it's a lead of 17 minutes for Cox over Gibson, but he actually has a class lead of almost an hour and a half over the next Class A car. Piazza Musso leads the D class, while Yapi Visser is ahead in Class E. There were 45 vehicles left in the race. Who will be top of the class at the Toyota Dealer 1000? We'll tell you tomorrow night at 10:30.